So in the inverse variation lesson, we're going to learn how to use that formula to solve problems. Now, in 8-9, we saw the direct variation formula was y equals kx. We're now going to change the order of the letters, and now the formula to find inverse is going to be y equals k divided by x. So as long as you memorize these two and just watch the wording of the problem, it makes it easy. So again, an inverse is a function defined by this equation. You could also memorize it this way, where you multiply the x and the y to get your k. So y equals k over x. Keep in mind, we can rearrange the equation to make it simpler. Now, remember when we did this one, 8-9, to find k, what you're doing is dividing y by x, but now in 8-10, to find k, you're going to multiply x and y. So these are little shortcuts you can use. So to find k when it's direct, you divide y by x. To find k when it's inverse or indirect, you're going to multiply x and y. So let's go ahead, and if they ask you to graph them, the best way to do this is you can create a table of values. You'll be given some x's to plug in, and then you would follow order of operations like we did in last night's homework, and you would get your order pairs. This graph is called a hyperbola. You'll do a lot of this in Algebra 2. We really won't be graphing hyperbolas in this course, okay? But just keep in mind, if you're ever given an equation and they're asking you to graph it, you can choose whatever x values you want, and you can create a table. See how they have negative values to get this side, and then positive table here to get this side. So you're going to need to plug in at least 3 negative numbers and 3 positive numbers to get a decent graph when you do this homework tomorrow night. So let's look at some examples here on the next page. So here it says, for every non-zero value of k, the graph x times y equals k is called a hyperbola. And again, you can also set it up as a proportion. So just know that you can multiply x and y to get k, and it doesn't matter if it's the other order pairs. Again, these are your formulas that you should memorize. And then also remember, you could take the 2 order pairs and multiply them. So when we did direct, notice how we did y over x and y over x. Over here, you multiply the x and the y to get your answer. So here's an example of a word problem. So notice here, they've got a fulcrum, and it's sort of like it's showing how it's balanced. So here, they're taking the masses and the distances, and they're multiplying them. And they want to know where the bar would be balanced. So here, let's go ahead and see if we can work this out. So again, we're going to take M1, mass 1, times distance 1, should equal mass 2, times distance 2. And I'm going to plug in what I know. So here it's telling me that if a 24-gram mass is 30 centimeters from the fulcrum, that's that center of our balance here. So I'm going to multiply those two things together. So 24 times 30 is equal to, and now I'm going to read the rest of it. How far is the fulcrum if you have something that's 45 grams in mass? How far away is it? So then here I would do the 45 times the D2. And again, D2 is my variable. So to solve, you're going to multiply these two and then divide it by 45. So when I multiply 24 and 30, I get 720. And now I have to divide it to get that distance. So 720 divided by 45 will be 16. So again, you need to memorize the formulas. So again, this box right here summarizes 8, 9. These are the formulas you'll use for that one. And this will be for the 8, 10. So again, the wording will be key. So if it says varies directly, you use these. And then if it says it varies inversely or indirectly, you're going to use these. So let me try some of the written examples for you. So to these lessons is going to be this, and then watching the wording. So your official homework tonight is just the 8, 9. Let's go ahead, and you're doing 1 through 20 all. Oh, you're actually going to have to graph these. All right, so for the graphing, you're going to make a table of values when you do this tomorrow. You're going to plug in negative and positive values so you can get the hyperbola shape. So notice on the first example when they did that. So, and then this part, this is just like the example I just did, and you would multiply this mass times this distance, and then this mass times this distance, and then solve the equation. You can do the same thing here. You can multiply the two, and then divide. This would be your variable. So again, the key, if you want to start the 8, 10, you're doing 1 through 20 all. And then tomorrow we'll go over the 8, 9 homework, and then I'll also do a test review. So again, you might want to start on this 8, 10, at least try some of the problems, so that way you're not so overwhelmed tomorrow night when you go to study.